Good evening, and welcome to the CCM Fans Report. I'm Arthur Fischel.
And I'm Martha Fischel. Tonight we're dissecting a scoreless F3 derby that was anything but quiet.
We examine a match defined by defensive heroics, structural damage to the stadium infrastructure, and a display of Newcastle banter that was as sophisticated as a dial-up modem.
Plus, we look at the APL's latest scheduling gymnastics, the current standings in our league tables, and check in on the lunar cycle with the Mooned report.
But first, we must address the most significant achievement of the weekend. Before we discuss the football, I feel compelled to acknowledge a truly staggering achievement. We are witnessing history, Martha. Coming into this fixture, Newcastle had won 8 consecutive matches against 8 different teams. Had they won this weekend, it would have been 9 in a row against 9 different opponents. In a world of chaos, it is a beacon of consistency. It is, quite frankly, majestic.
Majestic. Arthur, have you been hitting the cooking sherry? You're talking about the scum like they're the 1970s Brazil squad. I didn't think you'd ever be caught dead praising a Newcastle winning record.
Their winning record? Good Lord, no. I am praising the APL. I am simply astounded that they managed to schedule a team against 9 different opponents in a row. It is a statistical miracle in a league where you can comfortably play the exact same team 2 or 3 times before you have even played someone else once.
Right, so the majesty was for the spreadsheet, not the strikers. That makes much more sense.
Precisely. When you abandon a standard home and away rotation in favour of arbitrary extra derbies and unite rounds, the fixture list becomes less of a sporting calendar and more of a bureaucratic ransom note.
Well, whatever the APL's algorithm is, the Jets didn't get their 9th. The bandwagon was well and truly derailed, though you have to give them credit for their world-class banter.
Indeed. I saw their primary banner circulating on Facebook before the match. It simply read, "Mariners are shit," accompanied by the hashtag #BabyBrother. It is devastating wit, the sort of prose that takes days to conceptualize.
I'm not even sure that photo was real, Arthur. Half the stuff on their supporter page is AI generated now. If you looked closely at the crowd holding the banner, half the fans had 7 fingers and 2 heads.
Outsourcing their insults to an algorithm. I suppose when your own cognitive capacity stops at a 3-word slogan, you need a server farm in California to do the heavy lifting. It is less a provocation and more a public confession of intellectual bankruptcy.
It's getting weirder too. They were circulating a picture of the Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, in a Mariners shirt, as if that's an insult. I mean, since when is the leader of the country supports your club supposed to be a burn?
It is confusing. Perhaps in the sovereign state of Novocastria, being associated with the federal government is considered a high crime. Though given their city's reliance on government infrastructure projects, you would think they would be more appreciative.
And then they really went for the bottom of the barrel. They posted a picture of a Mariners shirt with Centrelink as the sponsor.
Centrelink? Good heavens, that is our joke. We have been using that to describe their local economy for the better part of 2 decades. To see them attempt to flip it is like watching a toddler try to perform a Shakespearean soliloquy. They have the words, but they clearly don't understand the context.
It's total projection, isn't it? They're living in fibro housing in the shadow of a coal loader, but they think we are the ones on the dole. It's embarrassing, especially when they're coming down here to a proper tourist destination. People actually pay to visit the coast, Arthur. Nobody goes to Newcastle for a holiday, unless they've lost a bet.
They cling to these recycled insults like a shipwrecked sailor clinging to a piece of driftwood. It is the only thing keeping them from the realization that the world has moved on since that 8-2 result in 2018.
It's like that scene in Titanic with the door. They're hogging the only bit of floating debris in the ocean, this winning streak, refusing to make room for anyone else, while we all know they're just one slip away from freezing to death back in the bottom half of the ladder.
A fitting analogy, except in this version, Leonardo DiCaprio is wearing a high-vis vest and shouting about baby brothers while he sinks.
Well, there were no 8 goals for them this weekend. On the pitch, it was a gritty 0-0 stalemate. We lost Storm Roux and Miguel Di Pizio to injury inside the first 29 minutes, forcing a dramatic reshuffle against the league leaders.
And the boys didn't just survive, they stepped up. The forum was buzzing about Brad Tapp today. He was an absolute machine, blocking everything in sight alongside Donachie, who cleared one straight off the line.
The definitive highlight for the visitors came in the 22nd minute. Eli Adams found the net, and the celebration was frankly absurd. They all gathered in front of the away bay, carrying on as if they'd just won the World Cup final.
It was a performance of immense theatricality. Unfortunately for them, it was undermined by the minor technicality of being offside.
It was embarrassing. embarrassing. They were practically doing laps of honor. It really makes you wonder if we should have done a reverse celebration when the goal was scrubbed out, just to even the tally.
A formal uncelebration. I like it. It would certainly add a necessary sense of gravity to the proceedings. Speaking of gravity, referee Kivas took a spectacular tumble in first-half stoppage time. I am still waiting to see who he books for his own lack of balance.
Knowing our luck, he'd give a yellow to whoever laughed first. Though the Jets fans were already complaining on social media after the game, posting pictures of the ref as the man of the match, as if they'd been robbed.
A classic symptom of top-of-the-table delusion. When you are winning, it is destiny. When you draw, it is a conspiracy.
But honestly, it was an entertaining 0-0, even if the only target we managed to hit all night was the Polytech big screen.
Yes, Taniguchi's stray volley was quite spectacular. He managed to perfectly strike the digital goal displayed on the screen rather than the physical one on the pitch.
And took out half the pixels with it. Literally, huge chunks of the screen were just blacked out for the rest of the game.
A shot so powerful it resulted in a localized electrical failure. Nevertheless, stopping the Jets' streak and retaining the F3 Derby concrete log is a highly satisfactory weekend's work.
It really is. And the best part was watching the mood shift after the whistle. For a group of people who spent the afternoon attempting to look formidable, they were remarkably subdued on the walk back to the station.
A silent, rhythmic trudge toward the platform.
Usually they're trying to act all well hard, rioting or whatever it is they think they're doing. But after the game, you just saw rows of them with their big flags and their drums, just sulking, heads down, shoulders slumped. If you didn't know the score, you'd think they'd actually lost.
Stopping the streak, keeping the log, and watching the scum walk home in silence. It is a classic specimen of regional hostility.
A hard-fought point. The log stays home and very happy we didn't have to get on that train.
Joining us now from the edge of a frozen turnip field in the Moldovan interior is our international relations and disdain correspondent, Viktor Grassfeld. Viktor, I assume the feed of the F3 Derby reached your village?
It arrived, Arthur, like a tax collector in the night. Unexpected and unwelcome. I am watching on a screen held together by goat leather and hope. It has fewer working pixels than the one Taniguchi murdered. In my village, if you destroy a screen like that, we make you stand in the middle of the town square and read the weather report until you die of exposure.
That seems a bit harsh for a stray volley, Victor.
Football is a serious business, Martha. My uncle Petru once tried to celebrate an offside goal during the Harvest Festival. He was so busy dancing that he did not see the runaway pig. Now he has a prosthetic leg made of pine wood and a permanent fear of ham. When I see the Newcastle players celebrating their ghost goal, I see Petru. It is the arrogance of the doomed.
They did seem remarkably confident for a team that had not checked the linesman. What did you make of their creative digital outreach this week, Victor?
I see these Newcastle banners, Arthur. 7-fingered fans in the pictures. It reminds me of the ghost village of Solon. We used scarecrows to look like we had more workers for the census. The taxman was fooled until the wind blew and the village blacksmith's head fell off. As for the crowds that actually arrived, they occupy the stadium like the annual salt mine evacuation. A sea of grey faces fleeing their homes in search of light, only to realize that the border is closed and the log remains ours. It is a massive harvest of nothing.
They even posted a picture of Albo in a mariner's shirt as a burn. We're still trying to figure that one out.
It is the only thing they have, Martha. Lies and confusion. I watched them trudge toward the station after the match. It was like a funeral for a tractor. In Moldova, we have a saying, the man who shouts the loudest on the platform is the sellout who has traded his only cow for a map to a place that does not exist. They drag their flags in the dirt like a rusty harvester. It brings a small, cold warmth to my heart, like finding a lost kopeck in a bowl of soup.
A cold warmth indeed. Thank you, Victor. We will let you get back to your turnips.
They are the only things that do not celebrate prematurely, Arthur. They just sit in the mud and wait for the end, like the Jets.
It is time to conduct the Mooned Report. The seasonal tally for the men's squad is as follows. We have currently mooned 6 teams. We have suffered 7 lunar eclipses, and following the 0-0 result on Saturday, we have now achieved 5 half moons.
6, 7, and 5. It's certainly a balanced diet of results.
Turning now to the official standings in our league tables. In the A-League men, the Mariners remain in 7th position.
And the women?
The women's squad also sits in 7th. However, with the rest of the league active while we remain idle, that position is effectively a target.
Great. So we're just waiting to see who jumps us while we're on the couch.
Finally, we turn our attention to the immediate horizon. As we have discussed, the current A-League schedule continues to defy conventional logic, requiring us to navigate a midweek detour before a significant period of inactivity.
Right, so who's up first in this detour?
We travel away to face MacArthur this Wednesday, March 4th, with a 7 p.m. kickoff. Following that fixture, the Mariners do not play again for 10 days, eventually returning home to host Adelaide United on Saturday, March 14th at 3 p.m.
2 games in 4 days and then a long wait. It's certainly a test for the Calves.
It is a test of patience for us all. But for now, the F3 Derby concrete log remains exactly where it belongs. Until next time, this has been the CCM Fans Report.